Hey there, welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to talk AI?
Always. What are we diving into today?
We're tackling these AI prompt frameworks. Seems like everyone's trying to crack the code on getting the most out of AI these days, right?
Absolutely. It's the Wild West out there.
And you know me, I like to go straight to the source, so we've got a mountain of info to unpack.
The good stuff, though, from what I've seen.
Oh, yeah, we're talking cutting-edge strategies here, which, let's be honest, can be a little intimidating.
No doubt. There's a learning curve, for sure.
Which is exactly why I brought you along for the ride. You don't just get these frameworks, you get how they connect, the why behind the what.
And more importantly, how they can help someone like our listener right here, right now.
Exactly. So think of this deep dive like we're building you a custom toolkit.
Ooh, I like that. A toolkit for talking to AI. That's good.
By the end, you'll know which tool framework to use when, how to really wield it effectively. No more just hammering away at prompts hoping for the best, right?
Exactly. It's about intentionality.
Your source material covers a bunch of different frameworks, and we're not just name dropping here. We're getting to the nitty gritty.
RTF, TAG, BAB, CARE, RISE, even some advanced techniques. We're covering it all.
Music to my ears. Okay, let's get this toolkit started, shall we?
Let's do it.
First up is one that's particularly useful when you need information presented in a very specific way, to save you time and headaches. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's a lifesaver when you've gotten that massive wall of text from an AI, but it's not quite what you needed.
Oh, tell me about it. I've been there.
This framework helps you avoid that frustration entirely.
Okay, so walk me through it. How does it work?
Let's say you're planning a company-wide event with hundreds of people, and you need a detailed schedule.
Been there. The logistics are a nightmare.
This framework is called RTF, which stands for Role Task Format.
Okay, I'm following so far.
You could tell the AI, act as an event planner. Your task is to create a schedule for a 3-day conference with 500 attendees and provide it in a table format with times, locations, and descriptions.
And just like that, you've got a clear, organized schedule without having to sift through pages of text.
Precisely. It forces you to think not just about what you need, but also how you need it, which for someone like you, always on the go, is key.
You know me too well. Okay, so that's RTF, a lifesaver for anyone who needs AI to get to the point.
It's all about efficiency.
Next in our toolkit, we've got one that's all about strategy, which I know is right up your alley. The TAG framework task, action, goal. Tell me more.
Right. With TAG, you're thinking about your desired outcome from the get-go, so each prompt has a purpose.
The example from your research on career changes was spot on, using TAG to create a prompt about transitioning from software development to project management, right?
Yes. It was something like, the task is to transition from software development to project management. The action is to identify the necessary skills and certifications. The goal is to make the transition within 12 months. See how that clearly defines what you want the AI to focus on?
Absolutely. It's like having a roadmap for your career instead of just, throwing darts at a board and hoping for the best.
It's much more strategic.
So we've got our RTF for clear instructions and TAG for strategic planning. What's next in our AI toolkit? This next one really clicked with me because it's all about problem solving, the BAB framework.
Ah, yes. Before After Bridge. This one is great because it encourages you to present the full picture to the AI.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It's like saying, here's where we are, here's where we want to be, help us get there.
I love that. And your example about website redesign was perfect. Remember that source we included about updating an outdated website?
Right. Imagine you're stuck with a website that looks like it's from the dark ages, but you don't even know where to start.
Oh, I've been there. It's painful.
With BAB, you could say something like, before, our website is outdated and gets very little traffic. After, we want a modern website that attracts new customers and drives sales. Bridge, create a redesign plan, including SEO recommendations and a budget breakdown.
So you go from feeling completely overwhelmed to having a step-by-step plan to revamp your entire online presence.
And it even includes SEO, which, as we know, is essential for getting noticed online these days. This is huge.
This is huge for anyone looking to boost their digital footprint, right?
Absolutely. And it highlights how understanding these frameworks allows you to use them strategically to achieve your specific goals. It's not just about following the formula. It's about using these tools in a way that makes sense for you.
I love it. It's like you said earlier, it's about becoming an AI chef. Speaking of which, let's move on to our next recipe for success, the CARE framework.
This one is all about context.
This one seems particularly useful for those situations where you need the AI to really grasp your specific context, wouldn't you say?
Precisely. Context, action, result, example, because AI, as smart as it is, can't read your mind yet.
Thankfully.
So you need to give it all the information it needs to understand your unique situation.
And the example that stood out to me here was about building a brand identity, something that's so crucial in today's crowded marketplace, right?
Right. Imagine you're a startup founder with an amazing product, but struggling to communicate your brand's message. It's a common problem. With care, you could craft a prompt like this. Context. Our company creates sustainable living solutions. Action. Help us develop a unique brand identity that appeals to eco-conscious consumers. Result. We want to increase brand awareness and build customer loyalty. Example. Think Patagonia, but for home goods.
Okay, now that is a well-crafted prompt. You've given the AI a clear understanding of your company, your target audience, your goals, and even a reference point. It's like giving a designer a detailed brief before they start working on your logo.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of care. It allows for that extra layer of nuance and specificity, which, as you know, is key when working with AI.
Right, the more specific you are, the better the result.
Right.
On to our final framework in this set, Rise. What's the breakdown on this one?
RISE stands for Role, Input, Steps, Expectation. And it's perfect when you need really clear, actionable guidance from the AI. Think of it like asking for step-by-step instructions.
So it's like having your own personal assistant guiding you through a task. The example from the material on personal finance was brilliant.
Yes, it went something like this. Role. You are a financial advisor. Input. I want to create a budget that allows me to save for a down payment on a house. Steps. Outline the steps I need to take, including how much I should save each month and any potential investment strategies. Expectation. I want to be ready to buy a house in 3 years.
It's like taking all the guesswork out of a potentially overwhelming task like buying a house. And by setting that clear expectation, you're more likely to stay on track. Right?
Precisely. It provides a framework for achieving your goals, one step at a time.
Okay, so let's recap. We've covered our 5 essential AI prompting frameworks. RTF for clear instructions, TAG for strategic planning, BAB for problem solving, CARE for context-heavy situations, and RISE for step-by-step guidance. That's a pretty solid toolkit. But there's more, right? I'm intrigued by this idea of layering frameworks that you mentioned earlier. It sounds like we're about to level up our AI game even further.
We are. Think of it like this, just like layering different ingredients adds depth and complexity to a dish. Combining frameworks can create even more nuanced and effective AI prompts.
Okay, you've definitely got my attention. I can't wait to hear how this works in practice. But first, let's take a quick break to let that sink in. We'll be right back to dive into the world of layering AI frameworks. All right, so we're back. Ready to take our AI prompting to the next level with this whole layering thing.
It's where things get really interesting.
Layering frameworks, right? Like we're stacking these strategies.
You got it, combining the strengths of different approaches to create something even more powerful.
Okay, I'm sold, but how does this actually work in practice? Like, give me an example.
Let's say you're trying to create a personalized fitness plan tailored to your goals and all that.
Ooh, okay, this is getting relevant to my life choices. I'm listening.
So you've got a goal, but a million ways to get there, right?
Right, a million fitness gurus, a million different apps.
This is where layering comes in. Remember the RTF framework, role, task, format?
Yeah, like telling the AI to be our personal event planner. We did that.
Now combine that with something else you've probably heard of, the SMART goal setting technique.
SMART. Okay, specific, measurable, achievable. Oh, yeah, I remember learning about that.
Not just for business seminars anymore. So your prompt could be something like, act as a certified personal trainer, create a 4-week workout plan for someone who wants to build strength and endurance. I want to be able to run a 5K without stopping by the end of a month. Provide the plan weekly with exercises and reps.
Wow. Okay, that's a mouthful, but it's like you crammed a whole personal trainer into one sentence.
Exactly. Layering RTF and SMART, clear structure, specific instructions, measurable goal. That's when AI shines.
Okay, that's incredible. So each framework is like adding a new layer of flavor, or in this case, effectiveness, to the final prompt, right?
That's a great way to put it.
What other framework combos can we explore? I'm ready to experiment.
Well, remember, TAG, all about strategy. We can actually layer that with BBAB, the problem solution framework.
Ooh, that sounds potent. Give me an example. I need to see this in action.
Imagine you're working on a marketing campaign, new product launch, but you're feeling stuck.
Okay, been there. The pressure's on with a new product launch.
That's our before state, right? We want to get to an after state where the campaign's a hit, sales are booming.
Right, so how do we bridge that gap? And where does TAG come in?
Okay, here's where it gets good. Our task is to develop a killer marketing campaign. Our action is leveraging social media, influencers, all that. And our goal, of course, is brand awareness and sales.
Okay, makes sense.
So our layered prompt could be something like, before. Our product launch is a dud. After. We're at the talk of the town, sales are through the roof. Bridge. Develop a plan, but use tag. Task, get people hyped before the launch. Action, influencers on social media, target the right people. Goal, 20% more website traffic, 100 pre-orders, first week. Boom.
Okay, now that is a seriously strategic prompt. You've combined the problem solving, the focused action. You've got a roadmap for success right there.
And that's the beauty of it. Once you get these principles, you can experiment, find what works for you.
It's like you said earlier, it's about becoming an AI chef, coming up with your own signature dishes.
Exactly.
Speaking of guidance, before we get even more advanced, let's talk about some common pitfalls. You know, those little mistakes everyone makes, even with the best intentions.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
Because I'm sure even with the best tools, there's room for, I don't know, user error.
Big time. And honestly, recognizing those pitfalls is huge error as you're learning.
Let's hear it. The AI prompting don'ts, so to speak.
One of the biggest ones. Overcomplicating prompts, trying to cram everything in at once.
Oh, guilty as charged. I tend to over-explain.
It's tempting, but it just confuses the AI. Clarity is key.
So, short and sweet.
Exactly. Essential info, break down complex tasks into smaller prompts, like, would you rather read a novel or a bullet point list?
Bullet points, all the way, especially when it comes to AI.
100%. Another common one is being too vague. Remember, AI is not human. It doesn't get those subtle cues we give each other.
Right, like telling someone to make it pop without explaining what it even is.
Exactly. Specific terms define anything that's open to interpretation. Increase website traffic by 20%, not just make it better.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Clear, actionable instructions, just like we'd give a human.
Exactly. And lastly, don't be afraid to experiment. These frameworks are guidelines, not rules set in stone. The more you practice, the better you get. It's like any skill.
It's like learning a new recipe. You might not nail it the first time, but each attempt, you learn something.
Couldn't say it better myself.
Speaking of learning, your research mentioned even more advanced prompting techniques, things that go way beyond these frameworks.
Oh yeah, we're just scratching the surface here.
Should we give our listeners a sneak peek? See what other AI magic awaits?
Absolutely. Once you've mastered the basics, it's time to unlock the next level. It's like leveling up in a video game, unlocking new abilities.
I'm so there. Hit me with these advanced techniques. Let's see what this AI can really do.
All right, first up, conditional instructions. Think of it like this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Sometimes you only want the AI to do something if a certain condition is met. Makes sense.
Give me an example. I'm still wrapping my head around it.
Okay, say you're using AI for, creating a marketing plan, but you're on a tight budget.
Been there. You don't want the AI suggesting things you can't afford.
Exactly. Conditional instructions let you say, only show me strategies that cost under $500 or whatever your limit is.
So the AI has to work within my constraints. No more pie-in-the-sky ideas.
Precisely. Keeps it real-world applicable.
I love it. Conditional instructions? Check. What else we got?
This next one's fun. Controlling the AI's tone and style. Because sometimes you need formal, sometimes it's casual, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, you wouldn't wear a tuxedo to a beach party.
Exactly. With AI, you can specify that, like, write this email in professional tone, boom, instant formality.
Right. Got to sound credible when you're talking to investors and stuff.
But then, if you're brainstorming social media captions, you can tell it, make it fun, use emojis, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so I've got a whole team of AI writers at my disposal, each with their own voice.
It's about using AI to boost your creativity, not replace it.
Love that.
Yeah.
And it seems like these tools are constantly evolving. Who knows what's next, right?
Exactly. But that's the exciting part. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
And that's what I've taken away from this whole deep dive. It's about understanding the principles, experimenting, finding what works for you.
Couldn't agree more. It's a journey, not a destination.
So to everyone listening, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Try these frameworks, make some mistakes. That's how you learn.
And who knows, maybe you'll stumble onto the next big AI breakthrough.
Now that is an exciting thought. All right, everyone, that's it for today's deep dive. Until next time, happy prompting.